There we go. All right, now it's being got it live streaming. I just got to make sure I'm muted on YouTube so that I don't hear myself over and over again in slight delay. All right. There we go.
Loving the t-shirt.
And there we go. It wasn't muted. All right. Awesome. Yes. Catherine's getting compliments on her shirt. It's the cool one. I just have the regular one here. Alicia, well, hello. Welcome. 3 to 4 years. Glad to see Alicia here. Awesome. She's obsessed. I think she's obsessed with Book Creator. I'm not sure. Maybe she's obsessed with Catherine's shirt. But yes, no, it says Book Creator. I'm just kidding, Alicia. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to share my screen here. And I'm going to move us over to this corner. What's new in Book Creator? So we are so very excited about this because some of the announcements that we are going to announce today just happened today. All right, which is so cool. Perfect timing for a webinar. One of them happened a couple of days ago, and we're going to do some other cool wrap-up stuff. So if you haven't used Book Creator in a little while, we're going to share some other cool updates as well. So just again, before we get started here, a little bit of housekeeping. There is the chat window, which I think most of you have found at this point, which is fantastic. So in the chat window, feel free to type in whatever you want, right? So aha moments, things that excite you, just random comments, greetings from Spain, whatever you want to put in the chat window, please go ahead and do that. In the Q&A box, though, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A box because sometimes the chat window starts flying by and we might miss something. All right, Catherine and I have gotten pretty good over what, Catherine, like the last 6,000 webinars that we've done or something. We've gotten pretty good at looking out of the corner of eye and seeing the chat window and watching questions go by. But if you put them in the Q&A box, then we're definitely going to see them and we will make sure to answer those questions for you. All right. We are recording this live on YouTube. So if you just popped in and didn't hear that, this will be on YouTube in the next couple of days. All right. So what's new in Book Creator? Let's get in here. But first, Catherine, who are you? What do you do?
Yes, everyone. My name is Katherine Cappiello. I am the other teacher success manager here at Book Creator. I'm a former educator myself. I've taught kinder, 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 10th grade before joining the Book Creator team. I'm located out in Chicago, and I work with teachers all over the world. I teach them about Book Creator and help them fall in love with Book Creator. And I work alongside Jon Smith, which is awesome. And today we're going to be teaching you all about all of those new features that Jon was going to jump in and show you in just a second. So happy to be here.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. And like Catherine said, my name is Jon Smith. For real. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If not, that's okay. I'm also Jon Smith at bookcreator.com. So you can reach out to me or Catherine at either of those places, any of those places. We're always happy to talk and chat about Book Creator. I'm married. I've got 3 kids, 12, 8, and 5. My son just started middle school, which is frightening. And I have to brag for a second. All right. So my son, he just got invited to be on the superintendent's advisory board. Okay, so he gets to go to the castle and meet with the superintendent once a month. And he actually asked me yesterday, he goes, does that mean we get to drink coffee and sit at the big long table? Right. So I had to laugh about that. So anyway, that's really cool. And I hear him in the background too. He also got a perfect score on his math test for his state math test. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So anyway, had to brag for a second because that's pretty sweet, especially for being in middle school for like the first time. Right. So anyway. All right. I taught special ed for 12 years. I was a tech integration specialist for 7 years and now one of the 2 teacher success managers here at Book Creator. So we are really excited to be here and we are really excited about these new features that we are going to chat. All right. And yes, like Catherine's Bitmoji says, she heard there was an update. And yes, there was an update. And this is a big one. All right. So we are really excited. But we're going to tease you for just a second, right? Before we get to the big update, Catherine, you want to tell us a little bit about this certification program that we have?
Yes. So the first update that happened, I'm trying to think, was it in June?
I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe more.
Maybe it wasn't. Yeah. I don't remember. The year is flying by and the summer is flying by. I can't believe, I don't know about you, but if you go to Starbucks, the pumpkin spice latte came out yesterday. I had my first one. But anyways, so once that hit and pumpkin spice is everywhere, I'm like, oh my God, fall's coming. So anyways, it's flying by. But we just updated our certification course. So if you go to your teacher dashboard, and John's going to show you right now, you're going to notice there's this big red new button next to the certification course. If you press on that, you're going to notice I'm next to John this time. It's not just John's face.
That's right. Now, do me a favor. When you get to the certification, scroll right past the nasty haircut and go over here. Okay, now you can continue telling.
I like his hair, but he looks great as usual. But so you're going to see both of us, and we actually updated the course. Not only are we showing you features, but all of the features, we actually talk about how you can implement them into your curriculum. We give you ideas, and we've also updated it with all of our new features that we're going to talk about today. So we highly recommend, if you've already done it, you can do this again. And the certification course is great to use with your students too. So if you need to show them some videos about how to use Book Creator, you can go back and use these videos with your students too.
Yep.
When you complete the course, you're going to see just right here what John has on the screen. You get a badge, and digital badge that you can put in your email signature if you like doing that, and you get a certificate of completion. So you can send that to your admin, or if you'd like to collect those as well, it proves that you've completed the course. So highly recommend taking the course, and it's going to show you everything you need to know about Book Creator.
Yep, awesome.
We have some people that have already renewed their certification, which is awesome.
Yep, that's even better. So I did get a question here from Claudia. Can we please have a copy of this book? Sure. All right. So we will publish this book. We have not done that yet, but we'll publish this book and we'll get that link out before the end of our webinar here today. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I did get a question too about the winners of the school book creator license, because there was a back to school contest. And I'll be honest, I don't know. So we will have to find out about that. I'm sure that the winners will be announced soon. And like I said, Katherine and I we don't really have anything to do with that. That goes through our marketing team. So we'll have to figure out about that. But I really don't know. So I'm sorry about the really bad answer, but that's the best answer I've got for right now. Okay. So anyway, after the certification, yes, Katherine says, and there's more, right? With an exclamation question mark. Yes, there is more. All right. But before we get in, I keep teasing you, but before we get into the newest feature, we have to start with a little bit of a history lesson. All right. Here in Book Creator, because we know that the new feedback and comments feature is the biggie. All right. But what exactly is feedback, and why do we really care? All right. So I know that when I was a student, I sometimes didn't really want the feedback from the teacher, right? If they gave it to me, right? It was just I was kind of seen as, it was kind of at the end, right? And so a lot of times, I don't think feedback was really done very well as a student. So here, I've got some things that I found that I think are really interesting in regards to feedback. So one, feedback I think is really important because it helps keep students on track. Again, you're not seen as this red pen at the end of an assignment or at the end of a project or a unit or whatever, and they just give you feedback and say, well, here's why you got the D, right? Or here's why you got an A or whatever. You are seen more as somebody that's helping students along the line, right? You're just gently nudging them right along the path that they need to be on to get to the end product. Number two, it helps avoid those major mistakes at the very end. Okay. Again, my son, he came home a few times and he had a grade on a test, and we're like, well, do you know why you missed this problem? And he was like, no. And we're like, well, did your teacher go over it? And he was like, no, right? The teacher didn't. So he had no idea why the mistakes did happen. And so if you provided feedback throughout the process, then you can keep those big mistakes from happening at the very end. And when you do get the end, if there's mistakes, it's just a little stuff that you can tweak, right? And make better pretty easily. I also think it helps build better relationships. All right. So again, you're not just seen as the teacher who gives the red mark at the end. You're not the final grade, right? You are a partner in this. You're partnering with the kids so that you can provide feedback so that they have a better product, right? So that's the partnership. You help provide the feedback, they get the better product at the end. All right. And which leads to number 4, in my opinion, It allows for an increase in motivation, because when they're not viewing you as this pen, this gatekeeper at the end, they're viewing you as a partner, then things are a little bit better all along, right? And now that, again, increases motivation, increases a willingness to want to make a better product and continue. And then number 5, it also allows for clarification on difficult stuff. All right. So again, if something is difficult, you can provide feedback to students, and then they actually have some clarification on the difficult things so they can make it better, right, before the very end. All right. And then the last one, it helps identify levels of understanding. So as a teacher, you can look in here, and based on the work that you see, you know where your students are at. And if you have questions about what they're doing, you can ask that, right, of your students, and they can tell you why they did what they did. And again, it helps deepen your level of understanding for the kids. All right. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. I wanted to throw that in there. But without further ado, we're going to get into some fun stuff here. And so in the past, what did feedback look like in Book Creator? All right. And so the short answer is nothing, right? We didn't have any feedback in Book Creator. So if this was Katherine's wonderful work sample here, right? We created a template. Katherine goes in and she starts working in this. As a teacher, it was kind of like, okay, cool. There was no real way to provide feedback within Book Creator. Maybe I could write something on a sticky note and hand it to the students and say, hey, here you go. This is what you did right or wrong. Now go back into Book Creator and fix it. But inside of Book Creator, there was really nothing. However, during the pandemic, we started getting teachers who became like really crafty, right? And really started finding some neat things. Specifically, this gray area around the outside. All right. I mean, when I work in Book Creator, I always think that it's all there on the page, right? But there's so much more that you can do. And as Katherine is demonstrating here with our shape, we can now utilize the gray space. And so teachers were taking shapes and putting those into the gray areas so that students would come to their page. They'd see the teacher feedback over there. It says great work, and be like, awesome, I'm doing awesome work. I know what I need to do here, right? Or the teacher might click the shape and add another shape over here and just say, don't forget your punctuation, right? And capitals on your sentences. All right, there we go. So again, this is the way that feedback has been done. All right, in the past, sometimes teachers would say, oh, well, I'll click the plus button and I'll add my voice. All right, and so they would click the record button, gives them that countdown. Hey, Katherine, I really love the diagram of the brain that you found here for this prompt about creativity. So that's super cool. I'm curious where you got it from. So I hit stop and use recording. All right. And so now I've got this little audio button with my my voice, right? My feedback. But here's a slight issue. For some technical reason that I am not smart enough to figure out, this audio button cannot go into the gray space, right? So if you're leaving feedback for students, it's always kind of stuck there on the page. And then a kid could delete it, and then the feedback is gone, right? The student may not know what you said after they accidentally delete it or delete it, on purpose. It's kind of lost. Same thing with video. I could leave a video feedback, but it kind of stays right there on the page. So that's kind of where things were in the past. And we knew that when teachers were starting to use shapes for comments, we had to step up our game a bit. All right. And so that brings us into the future, right? All right. So where are we now? And so here is our same page, all right, that we had before. And as of today, down at the bottom right, there's a new plus button inside of that speech bubble. And when you click on that plus button, you will be brought to our brand new feedback and commenting feature. Now, there is a gear here at the top. And if I click on that gear, do I want to allow students to make comments on the pages of the book? That's totally up to you. All right. Now, if you're following along with me and you think that that's important for relationship building, then the answer is yes, right? You want to turn this on for your students. If not, maybe right now you don't want them to feedback. That's fine. You can toggle that off and say disable comments for students. All right. But for me, I'm going to leave it on, right? Because I think that's important. So here's how this works. All right. You're going to unlike Google, for example, right? You highlight a word and you kind of comment off to the side. It's a little bit different. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see a button that says add a comment. All right, so I'm going to click add comment, and I can go ahead and type a comment in here. Is in the house. All right, and I click post, and then that comment gets added right there on the side. All right, in its own little sidebar. A student will see that, and then a student, or there's Katherine, she's already commented, that's great. And then I read her comment, and I can click on the little emoji here and say, "Ooh, cool, thumbs up," right? I can give a little emoji. I lost the word. A reaction, right, to that comment. All right, so these are really cool. And Katherine, then she could go in and give a reaction to my comment, right? So all kinds of really cool things here. As a teacher, if I kind of make a mistake and I'm kind of like, oh, I don't need that comment anymore, I can click the three dots next to the comment and delete it. Now, when I delete a comment, you'll see a little drop down that pops up here. I can click on that and I can pull up all of my deleted comments, and I can restore that deleted comment if I want to. All right, so you can always delete student comments and bring them back if you need. All right, so again, I think this is a really powerful feature, being able to leave the comments, being able to delete them, and being able to bring them back if you need them. All right, so this is our commenting feedback feature, but in true book creator fashion, this is not enough. All right. And a lot of times this is not enough, specifically because text-based feedback is really good for older students and students who can read. But if you have students who are younger, or if you have students who can't read, then we have some issues. So, like I said, in true book creator fashion, we have more. All right. So I'm going to click the add comment button. We also have video feedback, audio, emojis, Giphies, feedback stickers, and animated emojis. So this is awesome. So I'm going to click the video button here. There's an animated emoji that Katherine just threw in there. That's awesome. So my video pops up in there in the sidebar. I click start recording, gives us that countdown that we're familiar with. I absolutely love the exploding brain emoji, Katherine. Great job. Click stop. There it is. If I want to put some text in there, I could. It says, watch this video. And I click post. And guess what? That video gets added right to the sidebar there as soon as my internet wants to agree with me. There it is. And now watch this. When I click the play button as a student or as a teacher, I absolutely love the explaining. I can pause it, right? And I can go back and I can watch it over and over and over again until I get the feedback that I need. All right. So this is awesome. Plus button, audio, same kind of concept. Okay. Just hit start recording, gives us a countdown. Now I'm going to be leaving audio feedback for my students. Click stop and post. And then that audio comment goes right inside there. For younger kids, we have emojis, right? We have all of our wonderful emojis here. All right. All the standard emojis minus any of the bad ones. All right. But I have to laugh at this because this is like my snarky side coming out. Nothing says fix your work better than a poo emoji on the side of the page. Just saying. All right. Your kids will get it. You stick a poo emoji over there, they're going to know that they need to fix something on that paper. So anyway, I love the emoji feedback. If you are familiar with some of our new features that we're going to talk about shortly, you can add animated GIFs inside there. Okay. So if somebody has a really awesome, piece of work, I might be able to put a little dancing emoji here and say, great job. Here's your dancing bird, right? To just make you feel happy, right, about what you did. We've got these cool stickers. These remind me of my youth. I grew up in the 80s, so I remember scratch and sniff stickers, and that's what that reminds me of, right? So I can put some cool stickers in there. And of course, like Katherine had already shown, we have those cool animated emojis as well. All right, so maybe a kid puts something on it that makes me question. And so I'll be like, I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, right? So there's a lot of really cool ways you can have fun with this, yet still get the point across to your students that something needs either adjusted or that they did something really, really well, right? So I'm really excited about this feedback feature. Now, another thing that is super cool about the feedback is here in the teacher's library, there is now a bell, all right? And so this bell icon appears, and when you click on it, guess what? you get all of the notifications for that library. All right. So anytime a student makes a book, leaves a comment, responds to something, or makes a reaction, there it is. All right. You get those there. And if I were to click on one where it says Katherine commented, if I click on that, it'll take you right to that page and you can see what that exact comment was. So this goes both ways for students and teachers, right? So you're going to be able to see what the student said. They'll be able to see what you said. So this is awesome. So yes, opens up a whole new can of worms, right? Yep, I agree with you, Bruno. So this is going to be super, super awesome. All right. Again, the notifications will be right there. It's got a red icon this time. The reason it shows up red this time is because I was not on the page, right? If I'm on the page while the comments are actually happening, it will not show up as a red little icon. But if I'm doing something else, then it will show up red. So again, really, really special. Absolutely love this. A couple other little tidbits about commenting that I want to make sure I mention. And Katherine, if I've forgotten anything, let me know. But you can put up to 200 comments on a page. Do I recommend that? Probably not. Simply because 200 comments on a side of the page is going to be a lot, right? It's going to be a lot to kind of like scroll through all of those comments. But it is possible. So if you need that, then it is possible. And then in collaboration mode, all right, so if the students are working on a book collaboratively, the students will see each other's comments there as well. All right, so really cool. Katherine, did I miss anything about comments?
No, I think you hit it all.
All right, awesome.
Here in the chat, I know we've had some excitement. I'd love to hear what people are thinking.
Yeah.
Any ideas of how they're going to use it in the classroom? Love to hear that in the chat.
All right, and while you're doing that, I'm going to ask Katherine real quick. Katherine, do you want me to flip through the pages for you, or do you want to do it and I'll stop sharing and let you share?
It probably would be easiest if I shared my screen, huh?
All right, perfect. Yep. So I'll stop sharing there. Katherine, we'll let you go at it here. The graphic audio commenting for our ELL students, absolutely. Yes. And for the younger students, 100%, Alicia. That's a great point. It could be an instructional video. What's that?
Do you mind switching me to host?
Oh yeah, I thought I'd let you do it as a panelist, but there you go. Now you are a co-host. Now you should share. Cool. I love the Justina, I love the idea of it being an instructional video. So if you have if you want your kids to make a book about the parts of a plant, right, or something, you're right, put that instructional video on the side. It says click the plus button and add a shape and put the shape on the plant and type inside the shape and leave your feedback. Yeah, absolutely. So I love the idea of instructional videos as well. Great idea. Okay, Katherine, what else we got that's relatively new in Book Creator?
Yes. Okay. So we also have, now this came out earlier this year, but as we are on webinars and as we're doing PD with teachers all over the world, we've been realizing that a lot of people still are not aware of our App Store. So we thought we would go over the App Store just in case some of you are not aware about our App Store, since it is still new this year. Okay, so we're going to go over some app updates and where you can find our App Store. There are two areas that you can find the App Store. The first area you can find the App Store is from out on your teacher dashboard. You're going to notice right next to the certification course where it says new, you're going to notice this little rocket ship where it says apps. And if you've never clicked on that yet, you're definitely going to want to click on that because you're going to find our App Store. And just like John was saying earlier, in true Book Creator fashion, all teachers are going to want more for Book Creator. So we have more features that you can add on to your feature list with Book Creator. We have Giphy, we have Bitmoji, we have Canva, Google Drive, animated emojis, feedback stickers, Google Maps, and 3D models. Okay, so the way that you're going to be able to add these onto your account, let me disable one so I can show you how to do this. You're going to notice that there are these little white plus signs at the top of each one. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to click on the plus sign. And when you click on the plus sign, before you do anything, we're going to look at the privacy policy for the actual app, okay? So when you do that, down here, there's an app privacy policy because two of the specific apps have age limits that you're going to want to be aware of. The first one for Giphy, for students specifically, no students under 13 should be using Giphy. So with the apps, you can activate it for yourself as the teacher to use within your account, but you can also activate it for your students to use for their accounts as well. So just be aware for each app, you're going to want to read the privacy policy just to be aware of which one. We're not going to go through every one today, but just so you're aware to read those privacy policies before you activate them for your students as well. But the Giphy one is going to be no one under 13 should be using it. This does not mean that your students cannot view GIFs, or that does not mean that your students cannot have a template with GIFs in it. We want students to have GIFs because they're so engaging for the students. So please use GIFs in your books and please use GIFs in your templates. It just means that they cannot have the Giphy as a specific feature on their feature list, okay? All right, so to activate that, once you've read the privacy policy, you're going to click on Enable App. When you click on Enable App, it's going to enable it for you. That's why it says enabled for me as the teacher. And then you're going to be able to enable it for your students if you wish to, okay? So you can either select all for all of your libraries, all of your classrooms, or you can select specific libraries because you might not want GIFs in every single library or every single book your students create, or it's just the ones that are going to be 13 and up and so forth. If you only want it to be for you, all you're going to do is just click done, and then it will be just enabled for you. Okay, so you can click through. The other app that is going to have an age limit is going to be the 3D models. 3D models is going to have one that's 16 and up. So just note to self that when you don't want to activate that for students who are under 16. Canva is for all ages, but just know that there is going to be, you're going to want a parent signature for anyone. I believe that, Jen, is it 13? Let me check for you real quick. I think it's 13. Yeah, anyone that's under 13, just make sure they have a parent consent form.
I was sitting here talking to you about that, but I was muted. Yes.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. So everyone else, and then Bitmoji, just so you're aware, is only for teachers. It's not going to be available. You're not going to activate that for students. Okay, so once you have those activated, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go into a book. So let me go back to our book, which goes through all my beautiful libraries. And once you're in a book, so let's say we're in this app updates book, you're going to be able to find those apps. If you click on the plus sign, you're going to see that rocket ship again under your feature list. So if you click on that rocket ship where it says more, here are all those apps that you have activated. So the ones you activate will be present here. You're also going to be able to see that at the bottom, I don't have it in my list because I'm not the teacher, I don't think here, but at the bottom it will say, if you're the teacher, it will say add apps. Okay, so you can add apps that way too. All right, but this is your feature list right here for all the additional features that we've added. So we're going to go through those today. All right, so the first one is Giphy. So Giphy, if we go the plus sign and more, Giphy, we have two options. And just so you know, this is not the Giphy we use when we text all of our friends. This is a filtered Giphy that is for students, okay? So they're not able to search for anything. It's going to be filtered for the students. So let's say we're doing a character development and we want to search for something the character is feeling. So let's say the character is feeling nervous. I'm going to type in nervous for a GIF, and I'm going to show my students how the character might be feeling. And maybe we're going to click on this one right here. So the character is feeling nervous, and maybe we're doing a graphic organizer and picking that up. Okay. And then under Giphy as well, we have stickers. The stickers are some of my favorite. I honestly use these all the time. I know we use them. Maybe I want to type in the number 2 and do like a list. Look at all these fun number 2s that we can select from. I use these all the time. and put that on here. And they're really cool to use if you're doing really anything on your, if you're doing a presentation and you need a number list, you can search for all the numbers and they all come up really nice and they're really cute to use. So
if you've got kids who love like boring bullet points, this is a way to really like step up the whole bullet point game, right?
I always use the stickers for the numbers. Okay, so that's a little trick for Giphy. All right, so that's Giphy. All right, yes, and vocabulary gifts, huge. Just think about the engagement game for that. All right, Bitmoji. Now, unfortunately, I do not. So for Bitmoji, you do have to connect with Snapchat. I unfortunately do not have a Snapchat account, so I cannot show you this, okay? So, but you do connect with Snapchat. If you do not have a Snapchat account, just so you are aware, you can also get the Google Chrome extension. So that's what I personally use. But you can connect with Snapchat, and when you connect with Snapchat, you just click on the Bitmojis and they pop on the page. If you use the Google Chrome extension, you just use the Google Chrome extension, and all you do is you drag and drop your Bitmojis on the page. So you can use either one of those, will work, and you can use Bitmoji, okay? So that's Bitmoji. Remember, that's just for teachers. And then Canva. Canva is one of my favorites. Canva is really going to be a game changer for your books and really stepping up creativity, especially for middle school, high school students. And especially if you want to add graphs to your books, your students can create these beautiful graphs in Canva as well. So if you click on the More button and click on Canva, I'm going to show you where you can search for book covers. So just remember in Canva, search for book creator covers, and they're going to have all these beautiful covers already done for you. So we'll connect to Canva. And yes, make sure when you use Canva, make sure that you grab your free educator account. Sign up as an educator because they give you free premium access. So you have access to everything they have to offer, which is amazing that they provide that for you. So make sure you sign up as an educator. All right, so when you connect to Canva, in Canva, I'm going to search for book creator covers. So it's a little trick if you search for that. And I'm going to search and look at all of these beautiful book creator covers that we have. And they're even making more for us. Okay, so I'm going to search for that. And I'm going to click on maybe this one, the Good Monster. Okay, what's great with Canva, what you're going to do is you're going to edit within Canva. So I'm going to just double click on this. Sorry, my computer, hopefully it didn't freeze. There we go. I'm double click on this. Hopefully it's not freezing. Sleep. There we go. There we go. I'm going to say Miss Cappiello's Monsters. Maybe we're doing a class book of monsters. And we're going to do written by I can move this over. Written by Miss Cappiello's class. And what's great about Canva, on the side, if you go to elements and you go down to graphics, they always have really cool graphics. So I'm going to maybe add this other monster to the page. And you can add those. And all you do is you click add to book. So the students can create these beautifully done books all within Canva, or these really cool covers in Canva. And then what they can do is now add their voices to the page or add more text to their page. So I can now record my voice, start recording. Miss Cappiello's Monsters, written by Miss Cappiello's class. Use recording. And now we are going to record our entire book using Canva and Book Creator combined. So as you can see, that took me what, 2 minutes or even a minute to create this beautiful cover page in Canva, and you can use both of them for your creativity. So it really takes it up a notch.
So Catherine, I love this. And I have to tell you that I learned something new. I did not know that you could search book creator covers, but I have another trick that I learned at ISTE that I also did not know. And if you are on a page in Book Creator, the stuff that pops up is graphs and charts and graphic organizers. But if you're on the cover of a Book Creator book, when you go into Canva, it automatically pulls up the Book Creator covers. So I thought that, yeah, so I didn't know about the searching feature, but for sure, if you're on the cover of your book and you go to Canva, it will pull up those covers automatically. So really awesome both ways, because that drove me crazy. Like I was like, I want some covers, on my 12th page, right? And I couldn't figure out how to do it right. So absolutely love this. So thanks for sharing that.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So if you're on the cover, they'll just pop up automatically, which is great for students. So if they're on the cover, then they just know, they don't even have to search then.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, animated emojis, my favorite. You can already see I use them from this page. They just make pages look amazing. So animated emojis, we have so many different ones on here. It just takes the page up a notch. I like to make them just to engage the students. I mean, students are going to love animated emojis on the page. Yeah, it gives, like John said, it gives the pages that extra pop. It really does. I put them on my pages. And then the feedback stickers. So just like in the feedback, we also have the feedback stickers. We made these earlier this year to help with providing feedback, but you can still use them. So if you want to put these on the pages instead of using the feedback, you can. Maybe you just want to give really quick, just put a sticker. If you're in a collaboration mode, you want to put stickers on the feedback pages, you can do that too. They're great to just put in the gray space too. So you could do both of that, leave comments, and then also use feedback stickers. Okay. And then Google Maps and Google Drive. So Google Drive, self-explanatory, it's going to connect to your Google Drive, and then it will pull any files that are, you can pull any files that are in Google Drive. Then Google Maps, if I click on Google Maps, I can search for any place, or I can zoom in to a place as well. And then when I'm doing that, I can just add that to my page. And now I can do a mapping activity with my students. They can use what I love about it is I can go to shapes and use different arrows down here and the star. Those are great mapping features. And then they can do this. I had a teacher use it in a reading journal to do a reflection of the characters and their migrations. So you can use that. It's great for the Google Map feature.
I love using the pen tool with Google Maps too. Yes. You can draw like the path of a summer vacation, or you can circle a specific state or country, right? So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with that.
Absolutely. And then SketchFab, our last one. So SketchFab, and I'll do this really quickly. I know we only have a few minutes left. So SketchFab under 3D models, what you can do here, you can search for content. So whatever like content area, let's say you're in science and you're studying something, search for that vocabulary or that content. I'm just going to scroll down to science and technology, and I'm just going to click on one, maybe this heart. Maybe we're studying the human heart. Sorry if you're queasy, okay? But what's going to pop up is a 3D model that the students can actually manipulate. So what will pop up, I'm going to manipulate this just to show you real quick, and they can move this around the page. I know I love these 3D models too. I just think it just gives it gives the students, instead of just looking at an image, now they can manipulate it. Some of them are going to be labeled for the students with vocabulary. Really cool if you want to study specific topics. And then you just click add, and it adds it to the page. This is great for a template or an explore board for students when they're beginning a specific topic you're studying. Great to add to the pages for those.
And Catherine, I'm glad that you mentioned an explore page, right, or a template. So Alicia asked a really good question. She did not realize that the age limit, right, or the age requirement for this. So one of the things that I saw a teacher do that I thought was really fantastic was the teacher created a book of 3D models. All right. And so it was just a blank book filled with 3D models that the teacher had looked at ahead of time and said, these are appropriate for my class. They're appropriate for my students on whatever they're learning. made a book that just had all of those in it, right? And so then the kids would come into the library, they would copy the book,
Yes.
and then they could use any of the models that were already in it in their report or in their story or something like that. And that way they can still use the 3D models, but they're not actually searching through the 3D models, and we're not breaking that that age requirement kind of thing. So that's one way that I've seen a school kind of work around it a little bit. I'm sure there's others that I haven't thought of, but that was the first one that popped into my head. So yep, you're welcome, Alicia. I thought that might be a good one for you. All right.
Yeah,
how do you shrink the 3D models? So if you just click on it and then drag a little,
real quick. Yeah. So you just click
dots
on it, and then the little 4 dots, you can shrink them over.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Let me switch back over to host.
All right. And then you know what? We have one more update, Catherine, that we forgot to mention. And before we leave, we want to make sure that we talk about another update. All right. So I'm going to share real quick our latest.
Share, right?
Yep, I got it. I think everybody sees. Okay. Yep, good. All right. So here is one more update. Yes, okay. And I have to admit, this might be the most important update that we have ever had in Book Creator. All right. So I hope everybody's paying attention.
Especially English teachers.
English teachers, especially. All right. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to add some text. All right. I'm going to type in Jon Smith is an auto detailer. Right. We'll make our sentence here. This is the start of our paragraph. Well, this has always been a major issue for teachers because it's just a text box. All right. It's not really a paragraph. And if I were to keep writing this, then as I keep writing it, it just keeps going, right? Whoops, I went too far there. Hit done. It just keeps going, and it's just a big block of text, right? There's no real paragraph to it. If I copy this and paste it, I can have paragraphs kind of like this. Okay, but it's all justified to the left side. All right. So that has been kind of a sticking point, I think, for some teachers for a little while. Well, guess what? As of the other day, inside of a text box, if you put your cursor right there before the text and type and hit the tab key, guess what? We have indenting. All right, so yes, you can now indent text inside of Book Creator. Book Creator's been around since 2011. I don't know why we haven't been able to indent text. Doesn't matter, because now we can. All right, so there it is, and it does work if you are in a blank text box and you hit tab and then start typing. All right, so you can do it that way as well. So before the text, after the text, but now you can indent. All right, so all the English teachers are rejoicing at this point because now we can have actual paragraphs. Okay, so anyway, that is our webinar today. We hope that you have all had a great time and have learned some really new things and really awesome stuff in ways that you can use that in your classrooms. And I just want to say thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. And be safe out there. Happy bookmaking. Are you considering adding 360-degree images as an asset? That's a great idea. I don't know. Nobody's ever asked me that before. But I'm sure we could send that off to our engineering team as a feature request, and we can see what happens. I will also kind of say, I'll put the homework all on you as well, all of you. We are always looking for more apps that we can add into the App Store. So if there are other apps that you think of that you think would be really great in there, please email us, let us know so that we can send that to engineering too, and we can look for potential partnerships with other apps that can then be integrated into Book Creator. All right, so definitely want you to take a look at that and think about that. But again, thanks everybody for being here. Have a great day. Happy bookmaking. Be safe.
Bye everyone.
See ya.